YouTube, yo, we come with the dark side of basketball stardom. Listen, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Listen, I feel like after LeBron, my nigga, that nigga had it bad without social media. Imagine how it is nowadays. Like a nigga like Mikey Williams, bro. I'm trying to tell you, bro. Like, social media said, I ain't gonna say it made everything worse, but no cap, I don't think it made a lot of stuff better. like people be trying to argue this and no. I think it's a equal. Like, that shit terrible. I ain't gonna cap. I see good things, but most of the book, no cap. Who made the news? The news is so depressing. Imagine waking up early in the morning. You decide to drink your coffee. 8 niggas shot. Whoa. Yo, we're gonna leave it in there. We're gonna leave it. Listen, I'm black, bro. Listen, it's cool. It's cool. 8 niggas shot, bro. Listen, listen, sometimes you just slip up. See, I understand. But listen, I say that I don't say on a regular basis, but I probably say it once a week. I ain't gonna cap. Nigga, I don't give a damn.
16 years old.
We gonna go ahead and start the video. It don't matter.
Everyone knows your name and recognizes you for what you do best, and the guarantee of money, women, status, and whatever else you can dream of is the next stop on your roadmap. For these players, this was a living reality. High school mixtapes garnering tens of millions of views, fame amongst your peers, and public recognition acknowledging your success for the game you've poured your heart and soul into. Sounds too good to be true, right?
Pretty much.
Well, in some cases, for one reason or another, that it truly is. Today we're going to relive the thrill ride of those who have made it to the top, only for what looks like a guaranteed ticket into the NBA that never came to reality. And in the case of Tony Farmer, the reason behind his freefall was darker than you could have ever imagined. Tony Farmer was at one point soaring to the top of the high school class, standing at 6'7" with a grown man's physicality and athleticism, a decent jump shot, and a pretty polished skill set for an oversized small forward. The attraction to his game was clear. A player with a skill set as polished as his, with a frame that was that developed, had all the makings of, at the minimum, a college star. But in an instant, his college scouting...
This him? Say you swear to God, this him? This him? The famous meme where and pass out, this him? This him? Like, no cap, you lying. Dead.
NBA dreams and freedom would be stripped away from him. 2 years prior to the Ray Rice instance that eternally smudged his legacy and instantly costed him his job, Tony Farmer would fall to the same fate. After video evidence of murder...
I ain't gonna lie. How you this big trying to hit a woman? Nigga, you could, bro, listen. Nigga, if a nigga hit a nigga, like, if he hit somebody that's even remotely his size, nigga, they get knocked out. Imagine, nigga, like a little old woman. I don't know, bro, I ain't gonna lie, the camera is not helping you at all. But listen, that's why you don't put your hands on women, period. But listen, she's just like an old woman. I know damn well you ain't walking up to this old lady. Who did it? This Ray Rice? Or this the nigga, what you talking about?
And striking his ex-girlfriend. As the police report released, the man who was being scouted by Big Ten schools was outside his girlfriend's house, took her belongings, and assaulted the 18-year-old girl as a 6'7", 220-pound man. With clear as day video evidence, Farmer would quickly realize that actions had consequences. And after striking an innocent girl, the gavel would strike, giving Farmer 3 years in prison for assault, kidnapping, and robbery.
Really, nigga? If we being realistic, 3 years not even that bad. Like, if, nigga, compared to your charges, bro, how you got kidnapping and assault? Nigga, and you only got 3 years, bro, you should be thanking your lawyer. Like, man should be kissing that man. Listen, you lucky you got 3. That's you better be lucky. Man, I would hit my knees. I hit my knees when the law came. Nigga, that would have been me. Thank you.
In a weird twist of fate, his dream of fame would actually become a reality, as after listening to his sentence, he would become one of the most infamous memes of all time.
Orders that the finish off survey term of 2 years on that in-house as well.
That was that, nigga.
Got that.
Now clown down for an eternity.
Wait, hold on. Did the Lord just say this nigga tripping? Did he just say this nigga tripping?
Got that.
Now clown down for an eternity, Farmer would serve nearly the entirety of his 3-year sentence. And now with a heinous charge and a prison term on his record, there wasn't exactly a market for schools looking to add a felon to their roster. Reaching out to every school that once showed him interest, to no one's surprise, there wasn't a coach that was willing to give a chance to a guy like this once their true colors were exposed. Farmer would be forced to go to junior college to further his basketball career, just 3 years after being one of the top prospects that the country had to offer. After playing at a level far below his talent level for 2 years, putting up 17, 9, and 3 his sophomore year, Farmer would throw his hat in the ring, declaring for the 2017 NBA draft. But as a felon in JUCO, this was nothing but a waste of time. Farmer's NBA dream was officially done. Despite putting up a league-leading 23 a game overseas to this date, Tony Farmer's disgusting actions got in the way of his dream, and he deserved every bit of his punishments. Don't agree? Well, after being publicly exposed for his actions, fainting in courts, becoming a viral meme, watching his basketball dreams fade in front of his very eyes, and spending 3 years in prison, Tony Farmer would be once again caught on camera.
Nigga, is this you? I gotta move my camera. There's no way. Look at this nigga. Look at him. She like this. Like nigga, what is you doing? Hey, yeah, this nigga deserve it, bro. He deserve it. Nah. Like, I was low-key feeling bad for your dumb ass. Nigga, look at me trying to lie. I'm like, damn, bro. Like, nigga really lost his. But then I'm like, bro, nigga, you hit a woman. But look at him. He repeated.
Dragging his crying girlfriend by the throat into his house during an altercation. Farmer's decline was entirely his fault, and due to his actions, he's lucky he even has a career overseas.
Keep him locked
up. As I'm sure the NBA wouldn't touch this guy with a 10-foot stick, and probably only about a 3-foot stick to keep away the 3-foot-tall Julian Newman. Julian Newman emerged on the scene as the youngest varsity basketball player in the country. At just 11 years old and standing...
Nigga, first of all, what type of training is this? Like, nigga, what is he training for? Like, when is the basketball just gonna come, like, throwing out? Like, what is this? Who? His dad, like, bro, his dad just having fun. This nigga just trying to push this nigga. Cause what is this?
Crazy 4'5", weighing 70 pounds. Newman was about 3 years younger and 100 pounds lighter than the next tallest guy on the court, putting up a pretty impressive 12 points a game with 11 assists and 4 steals. The whole world fell in love with the kid. Making appearances on Conan, Good Morning America, and the Ellen DeGeneres Show, Julian Newman was everywhere and only kept going up. Doing more of a press tour than a celebrity promoting the next movie or show, Julian Newman's popularity skyrocketed to a crazy extent, and his super quick and over-the-top handles with his unreal confidence and tough shot making made this guy the most popular basketball player on the internet. 5 million views every game he played, 8 million views against LaMelo Ball, and 13 million views against Kyrie Walker. It seemed like everything this kid did was on the front page of YouTube, but slowly over time, the kid that the world seemed to love completely flipped his reputation upside down.
Al, what happened with him? Because he literally just... Because like, don't he do YouTube and stuff now? I remember I used to watch the videos. Oh my god. I ain't gonna lie.
Julian's got no sportsmanship. No team play. Imagine being 16 years old and picking on a 7th grader. Someone tell 404 that this is a sports game, not a street fight. Julian Newman had grown up in the spot and grown from being a confident young kid to being thought of as a cocky young...
I ain't gonna lie. Listen. I've realized some of the greatest players of all time, the ones y'all be meat riding, is cocky as shit. Nigga, I feel like to get there, you gotta be cocky as shit. Nigga, you think Michael Jordan would be Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, nigga? Bro, you think they're not cocky? You think they, bro, especially Michael Jordan, I almost call that nigga B. Jordan. I don't know that nigga middle name, shit. Michael Jordan, nigga. And Michael B. Jordan is the actor. Anyway, y'all know what I'm trying to say, bro. You gotta be cocky, bro. You gotta be some level of insane, crazy. You have to be like, this is a different mindset, bro. So to be great, bro, in some capacity, you have to be cocky. Somewhat. But I think once you get to the league, that's where you cool down. Like, nigga, if I'm in high school dropping 100 points, you think I'm not cocky? Didn't LaMelo drop 100 points? You want him to be like, yeah, this is great Saturday. No, nigga, guard me. Like, what the fuck? Like, what, 100? And y'all want me to be like, good game, man. Good game. Like, bro, wait, come on. Bro, y'all be too much on these kids, bro. They kids. They are literally kids. Whoa, there was.
Despite clearly working very hard at his game for years and years, Julian Newman's game would also heavily plateau, as there's only so many dribble moves you can spam before actually getting anywhere, and there's only so many bad shots you can pull before the world gets sick of you. The gig was up. Despite putting up over 30 a game in high school, the world caught on to the reality that was going on. Newman was playing in a small private school against terrible competition, with his dad coaching giving him free reign to do whatever he pleased with the basketball. Newman's game, although flashy and great for the internet, was only good for that. Dribbling to nowhere and throwing up deep bombs really made him an inefficient, turnover-prone chucker. Despite being more skilled than 99% of players you'll see, Newman was limited by three main factors that completely negated his chance of fulfilling his NBA dream. His puny size and his terrible attitude, all while playing the game like an absolute moron. At 5'6", as the most hated player in high school basketball, the Newmans recognized that Julian's chances in the NBA were non-existent, as not even a college team was willing to give a chance to the kid who was once pulling 20 million views as a...
He didn't even go to college? I didn't know that. That's actually crazy. What the... Nigga, like, y'all, I don't think y'all understand how crazy... Y'all used to watch this nigga. Like, he was coming up around the same time LaMelo and them was. Nigga, you mean to tell me this nigga didn't even go to college? They didn't even try to get him in college? That's crazy, ain't gonna lie. That's insane.
Fifth grader. With no hopes in the league, the Newmans began exploring other avenues to capitalize off of basketball. And this is where the mastermind behind the Newman media machine would come to light. The father of Julian Newman would launch a family clothing line along with their very own reality show centric
I used to watch a little bit of reality show. That shit used to go hard. I can't lie. That shit was
a
kind of
loudmouth dad and a basketball family selling overpriced, low-quality merchandise. If you didn't think the Ball in the Family show could get any worse, let me tell you firsthand that, yeah, it does. Watching Jamie Newman say anything for relevance, while Julian Newman plays like a grade A dickhead and fights his teammates, was a sad ending for the kid who once shined for just playing the game he loved. Really, in a better world, maybe Newman would have faded into irrelevance after his 30 seconds of fame, which seems to be the story for Chase Adams after his 7th grade mixtape changed his life forever.
I ain't never seen this.
Standing at just 4'11", Chase Adams' 7th grade season was the one that put his name in the history books, garnering 16 million views, slotting him in as the second most viewed mixtape on the internet. Despite being the size of a 4th grader, Adams was not only among kids double his size, but absolutely dominating them. Watching a kid who looks no older than 10 dominating 8th graders in Chicago, who probably equals seniors in most other cities.
What the? Nigga, I didn't expect that. Boy, your boy nutmeg that dumb.
Watching a kid who looks no older than 10.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Imagine that happened to your son, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'll be like, I'm like, son, you got it. Come on. Like, y'all don't never be like, ooh, cause then like if your son look at your face, you like, now you just throw that nigga confidence. You got about this. So yeah, so I'm practicing becoming a dad already, bro. Listen, you gotta
and dominating 8th graders in Chicago, who probably equals seniors in most other cities, was what made this tape one of a kind. And holy hell did this kid have a bag. With playmaking skills and court awareness up to wahoo, a crazy quick handle, never dribbling the ball more than 6 inches off the ground, unreal ball control, and no fear attacking the basket when he knows he'll end up on his ass, the kid clearly had a chip on his shoulder from the second he picked up a basketball. And frankly, given his age and physical frame, he really was close to his 7th grade ceiling, as strange as that sounds to say. After instantly blowing up into a ball-his-life legend, Chase Adams' life was flipped upside down. Packed gyms, kids asking for pictures and autographs. This dude was the popular kid in class, to put it simply, and was basically living the life of an internet celebrity. Going into high school at a smidge over 5 feet tall, Adams was already starting varsity in the heart of Chicago as a freshman, garnering a
that nigga 5 feet? Freshman year? 5 feet, like even? Like he ain't 5 foot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11? Like that nigga 5 feet? What you mean?
Attention from Division I schools already, Chase Adams may have just seemed like a mixtape guy, but from hard work and, unlike Julian Newman, actually applying that hard work with a winning play style, Chase Adams was on track to live out his basketball dreams. But sadly, this is where we would see a major fork in the road. All the way through his sophomore year, Adams' older brother, and who he calls his father figure, would pass away in his sleep due to a seizure. With the loss of his brother, best friend, and mentor, Chase would see his play steeply decline, as it's clear his his motivation and mental state were severely hindered for the remainder of his sophomore year and into his junior season. But on the pursuit of a fresh start at Orr Academy, instead of letting his misfortune bury him further, it's clear he decided to turn his ship around, averaging 13-5-3 with 2 steals a game to lead his team to a 30-4 state championship run. Was the storybook finish to a high school career, which could have very well been the end of his run altogether.
Okay.
The comeback finish was not only a happy ending to his high school days, but also displayed enough to lock him a Division I scholarship in Portland. And after 2 years there, finished his collegiate career putting up 9 a game for Jackson State. After 4 years of Division I basketball, it's safe to say that the dream of lacing up in the NBA is not going to be a reality for Adams, and really, it was never going to be. It's easy to look at the heights he was able to hit so early in his life and look at his results as nothing but a failure, but really, it should be anything but. Chase Adams was really just like any other kid growing up.
One thing I can say, bro, life is so unexpected, yo. Like, literally, like life is so unexpected, yo. Like, you never know what's gonna happen, and every day you wake up, bro, I consider it a W. Like, the fact that I'm here and I'm recording the video and I'm even putting out a video today, like whenever this video go out, nigga, I did something. Nigga, I don't care if this video get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 views. Nigga, like, bruh, like, as long as you working hard and you doing what you wanna do, bruh, you did what you could, bruh. And as long as you laid out everything on that court, forget it, bro. Like, everybody trying to say, oh, you failed. Failed what? Nigga got the rest of his life. Like, and he got a little fame to him. So he can start up anything, and it's off his name. He might have a little
growing up in a dangerous part of Chicago. And instead of complaining about his biggest disadvantage, did the work necessary to reach the highest level of collegiate basketball. Never let the notoriety get to his head, inspired millions of undersized players, and left behind one sick-ass mixtape in the process. If you're nostalgic about the prime of the Hoop mixtape days as well, you probably remember the man who just may have been the king of the era, 7th Woods. After being completely off the public's radar until his freshman year of high school, 7th's life completely changed overnight, dropping what stands today as the most viewed mixtape to ever touch the internet.
What?
7th Woods woke up as the best freshman in the country. At 16.7 million views, it's no wonder why the world was in awe at this kid.
No cap. If I'm this nigga, I hate this nigga for the rest of my life. But why am I at the thumbnail, bro? This nigga just yamming on me. And you know he made it, bro. And this bitch 2 minutes 36 seconds. And this bitch got 16 million views. So you know this nigga probably watched it at least once, bro. Just oh, I'm mad for him. I'm mad like I'm him. Like I'm pissed. I feel you, my brother. I feel you. I'll be mad. I'll be blame him.
Because this could have very well been the best day to ever grace the internet. With a buttery handle on the ball, blocks with his head at the rim, and the craziest dunk package in high school at 14 years old. I mean, with this dude's talent level at this age, unlike Chase Adams, there wasn't a ceiling for this kid's game. And there wasn't and probably still isn't a guard with the raw athleticism and smooth skill set this young. Due to a 2-minute and 35-second internet video, 7th Woods was essentially now a celebrity. Packed gyms everywhere he went, pictures, autographs, and scouts from every school in the country. Overnight, it really seemed like one videographer had just made this kid's dreams come true.
Damn.
The world had their eyes on 7th. And going into his sophomore year, he gave them exactly what they asked for.
I was not expecting
20 a game with 4 steals, more viral posters, and big-time moments like a 40-piece on future NBA player Dennis Smith Jr. Woods had a very attractive skill set for a player with unreal defensive instincts at 4 rips a game, which could have honestly been the best part of his game, and a clear upward trajectory that no one was getting in the way of. But this was really the last that we'd know of 7th Woods as a star in the making. The disappearance of 7th Woods wasn't overnight. There wasn't an exact instance to point to. 7th Woods slowly cooled off in his junior and senior seasons, and although he put up 16 and 17 game respectively, his game really hadn't developed in any way, and the crowd just caught up to his game that seemed to peak too early. As the 7th Woods buzz fizzled out in a major way, still standing at 6'1" and looking like his freshman self, Seventh Woods fell to 59th spot in the class, but off of the attention that he garnered earlier in his high school career, Seventh still had the freedom to play for a school that your typical 59 guy wouldn't have. Coming to the Tar Heels should really be a moment to look back at and appreciate the work you put in to earn a spot at a top 3 program in the country. But in the Seventh Woods story, this was really the start of the end. Growing up with more fame and notoriety than most top recruits, Seventh was in a bit over his head committing to a powerhouse. Backing up system point guard Joel Berry, Seventh Woods' playing time was very hard to come by, and with the short leash he was on, being unable to be aggressive in fear of making a mistake completely killed his confidence and destroyed his production in the process. At 1.5 points on atrocious shooting, as the guy who was just a few years ago supposed to be the best freshman in the world, what the hell happened to Seventh Woods? Well, in his words, the pressure was just too much for him. I thought I had to be perfect, I really did. If I got a turnover, all I could think was that people were going to think I wasn't that good. I really questioned every mistake. In hindsight, I was trying to live up to people's expectations and I couldn't shake.
No, I'm gonna move my thing so y'all can read that. This is sad, cause I feel like anybody who's on the internet kind of live like this, especially like YouTubers, streamers, just anybody who on the internet, bro. Like you feel like there's always eyes on you. If you mess up one time, they trying to nail you to the cross, bro. They trying to drag you. They trying to bash your name. And like, I can only imagine. I could literally only imagine. Like, to question everything you do. Like, that's why, to me, bro, LeBron is the greatest of all time. Like, to have what they had in, I think, didn't that nigga have in like their middle school, high school? Like, to be known and to be called one of the greats, the nigga was called the chosen one. Dude, imagine be called the chosen one in high school, middle school, my nigga. Bro, what? But that's insane. That's insane. And imagine, bro, and people comparing him to Jordan in high school. Nigga, bro, he got to skip college straight to the NBA. And his teammates hated him. Nigga did not fuck with that nigga, bro. Like, and still come in the NBA and be still not he wasn't great, but he was still good. Still good as shit. Like, and then to become who he's become today and to be great and still good at 39, 40 years old, and to have the most points in the NBA, bro, y'all better stop playing with that. Bro, y'all better stop playing with that nigga, man. That nigga is different. But that's like 1 in a million, and that's why LeBron is the greatest of all time. But we're not finna get into that. But y'all, I hope y'all know, bro, you don't gotta be perfect. Like, I feel like you gotta hear that. I feel like a lot of people trying to figure out what they want to do in life, what's their chosen path, and this, that, and listen. You gonna find it. You gonna find it. Listen, you gonna find it. And you know how I know? Got life. You got your whole life. But while you living life, you gonna do some job that you don't like, some that you love, some like it's life. You gonna have to keep living it every day. And it's like a roller coaster, bro. Some days they gonna be terrible. I'm not terrible. You gonna be like, my God, it's a bad day. The next day might be wonderful. You might, bro, everything might be going your way. But listen, y'all, life is like a roller coaster. One day you up, the next day you down, bro. It's like, listen. So when you having a terrible day, listen. Especially when it's a terrible day, just imagine how good when you hit that peak, once it start going up. Think about it, y'all. When you have the most fun on a roller coaster? When you going down. And listen, now of course you're not gonna be happy when you in debt, when you lost, when you behind on rent. But listen, just know it's gonna get, bro. God, or whoever you believe in got a blessing for you, man. Like, you gonna be straight, bro. You listen, you gonna be good. Just keep your head up. Keep your head up. I don't care what you gotta do right now. Keep your head up. I know it's hard. I know. You might be working 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs, bro. I get it. you gotta do what you gotta do right now to come up. And y'all, I'm telling you, it's not gonna be easy. It's not. And if it was, everybody be doing it. Like, you'll see a bunch of millionaires. Like, I don't know if that's your goal. And if it is, maybe you need to change the goal. Like, just because you got $1 million don't mean that you good, bro. Like, you might mentally be messed up because all you do is work. And you don't got no time for your kids, your wife, your husband, whoever. So, but let me stop chatting. Let's get back to the video.
That focusing around the perception of his game more so than perfecting his game could very well have played a hand in the lack of improvement that we saw throughout his junior and senior years, and most definitely played a hand in his selection to attend one of the nation's top universities when in retrospect he had no business being there. Seventh Woods overstayed his welcome at UNC, who had no problem letting him rot away on the bench, averaging under 2 points a game on under 35% shooting in his wasted 3 years there. Seventh eventually hit the transfer portal, where downsizing schools really did little to help his game after not making any major improvements in 5 years. Averaging 5 a game for South Carolina and Morgan State, Seventh Woods would end his collegiate career as one of the most underwhelming of the mixtape era. With a game that really peaked early as the attention rolled in, it was really too much to handle for a high school kid who just wanted to play like he had his whole life, until one video gave him more than he could handle. And as his game plateaued, failing to have any specialty on the floor made his game pretty ineffective outside of the bounce that didn't really get him too far with the handles of a freshman. It's sad to see the way that his career fizzled out due to the impact he had online. But if we're talking about impact, there was really no one bigger than Jelly fan Isaiah Washington.
Hell yeah.
The wave that caught the whole world by storm.
That boy was
a group
cold.
of NYC kids who just wanted to turn a traditionally boring move into a highlight reel fillet had everyone and their mom screaming Jelly while they laid up the butteriest finger roll imaginable. Jelly fan was a group of nationally ranked high schoolers that had a little more sauce on their layups than everyone else. Whether it was cocking it back and laying it up with a little extra touch or switching hands midair, the Jelly fan mob that had everyone changing their Instagram handle, and no one had more sauce than the man himself, Isaiah Washington. With a silky smooth game, the nicest layup package I've ever seen, and the biggest name of everyone in Jelly fan, Isaiah Washington had the whole city of New York yelling his name. As the 68th ranking in the class of 2017, Washington had some pretty decent offers from schools like Minnesota, DePaul, A&M, and Rutgers. And with how big he was getting towards the end of his senior season, it really seemed like one of these schools was going to be receiving one hell of a talent. And after committing to the Minnesota Gophers, Jelly fan, in his words, was ready to put Minnesota on the map. But the second he suited up in the maroon and gold, I think the world really got a reality check. To say that Jelly was untalented would obviously be extremely incorrect, as the finishing ability and ball handling skill was top-notch. But what was holding him back was basically everything else. You can practice your skills as much as you want, and you might end up pretty damn good, but there's always going to be a ceiling for how high you can play if you don't have the basketball IQ to put it to use. And in this case, Isaiah Washington's ceiling was at the collegiate level. As a guy who didn't have a knack for passing the ball,
nigga said this nigga was so trash for the Gophers. One of the most overhyped. Dang, really? I never seen the nigga play in college.
Didn't have any off-ball skills like a consistent catch-and-shoot game, didn't work well running off screens, and didn't cut too quickly either. Washington's offensive role was basically to create shots for himself and get buckets on the floor. As a textbook sixth man type of role, the Gophers gave him 20 a night to make the most of it and gave him the shots to prove himself with scoring 8 a game on 36% from the field when your sole role is to get buckets and you're too small to really be a quality defender. Basically meant that not only was Jelly not going to be putting Minnesota on the map, but Jelly wasn't even playing. It may have been fun to watch the viral layup machine pop off the bench once in a while and hit a Jelly finger roll, but watching him take some atrocious shots in the meantime while getting baby defensively made it a pretty easy goodbye for Minnesotans. Transferring to Iona the following season, Washington would make moderate improvements before transferring to Long Beach State and having by far the best year of his college career at 14 a game on 43% shooting from the field and 30% from deep. Although putting up pretty decentish numbers for about a year and a half, it's safe to say that with the hype he was receiving in high school, his college career did wind up a major disappointment. Although talented and extremely skilled when not putting them to good use, you really could turn your ability into a hindrance on your team. And that's why when evaluating talent, you need to look a bit deeper than just a highlight reel. But even when we do, it still seems like guys like Kyrie Walker can still fool us all.
Sound familiar,
For as long as I can remember, Kyrie Walker was the #1 player in the 2020 class, and it wasn't even close. The 6'4" man-child of an 8th grader could do it all. From shift defenders, absolutely body defenders, finish with touch around the rim or slam one home, then dance on the perimeter and hit a pull-up the next possession. The #1 player in the class was truly one step ahead of the competition. This looked like a grown man playing against a load of boys. And that just might be because it kinda was. As a 16-year-old 8th grader, Kyrie Walker may have been the best in the class.
16-year-old 8th grader? This nigga was 16? Yo, cuz, what? This nigga is 16 in the 8th grade. His parents either hated him or this nigga stupid. What the fuck? How the hell you 16 in the 8th grade, my nigga? What the fuck? Boy, what the fuck? Boy, how the fuck? Bro, how is you 16 in the 8th grade? I'm trying to sit here and debate. I'm like, hell, no, like no matter what way I try to think about it, how?
Class of 2020, but in what was Walker's biggest strength on the court was also a completely unfair advantage.
Yeah, I bet it is. If he's 16 in 8th grade, why is this nigga even getting coverage? Now, of course. Nigga, imagine my dumb ass getting held back. I'm 17, 16 in 8th grade. Nigga, I better be going stupid. Yeah, I'm on the basketball team, on the football team. Like, what?
Child back for athletic reasons is actually a very common trend for top prospects. And in Kyrie's favor, he was lucky enough to get this privilege twice. Being 2 years older than his competition sure as hell played to his advantage, garnering loads of mainstream attention through his—
I know this nigga not talking shit to you little kids, bruh. Nigga, this is what you supposed to be doing.
his middle school years. And as he got into high school, the trend of dominance continued, putting up 25, 9, and 8 as a sophomore, with an improvement.
My bad. Listen. Okay, you did it against niggas your age. Okay. I have to say, if you just doing it against little niggas, shut up.
The 30, 11, and 6 as a junior is an upward trending star at the top of his class. What could the problem be? Well, despite the statistical dominance, the world began catching on to the facade that was Kyrie Walker. He wasn't a top player coming out of high school. He was a top player when he was in 8th grade because he was bigger than everyone he played. I think of the Billy Madison movie when I hear Kyrie's name. Dude's been in high school for a decade. Kyrie Walker, after hitting his early growth spurt, hit a hard ceiling that required him to bounce around the country to bigger roles to artificially inflate his stats and his ranking in the process.
You better go to Taiwan.
Despite his efforts, the best 8th grader in the country by a landslide was effectively free-falling off of the draft boards and out of the top 100 in the 2020 high school class.
I wonder why.
To make a poor situation worse, Walker let the negative attention and ridicule get to him by making a poor decision in terms of how to develop his talents to where he needed to reach. As a former Arizona commit, Walker would make the decision to decommit and skip on collegiate basketball altogether. But not only that, in an attempt to burn his reputation as just an old guy dominating high school kids, Walker would skip his senior season to work out in preparation for the NBA draft.
Deep inside, I had to figure out what I was going to be. Was I going to be a high school legend? Which I don't want to. Like, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I don't want to be that.
You don't want to peak in high school.
I don't want to be that. I want to be a high school legend. Like, I want to be like, oh yeah, he used to be tough in high school.
Tough in high school, yeah.
As he had already fallen up.
Nigga, the reason why you was tough in high school is because, nigga, you going against little niggas, man. Boy, you better be fucking dominating. Nigga, shit. Man, bruh. Come on, twin. Bruh. And then, y'all, let's be for real, y'all. Let's be for real. I don't know when y'all graduated, but when I graduated, COVID was happening. But when I was in school, bro, every year it was like the kids got like they look like they didn't supposed to be in high school. So imagine who he's playing. Who are you playing against? These niggas don't stop.
Out of the top high school rankings and fallen out of the media headlines as well, disappearing from high school effectively made Kyrie Walker a nobody. After being the most famous middle school basketball player in the world, Walker very silently declared for the 2021 NBA draft in which his name would not be called. Frankly, in 2021, Kyrie Walker was completely irrelevant. Taking his talents to the G League, Kyrie Walker would emerge onto the basketball scene after years of silence to prove that his time in the gym had paid off. And really had one last shot to show that his time in the spotlight was
talk to me.
and earn back the recognition that I'm sure he believes he deserves. But alas, with a mediocre 8.7 points per game coming off of the bench, Kyrie Walker wasn't lighting the world on fire at all. As a scoring talent, Walker looked solid.
Okay.
What really buried his chances was after years of nothing but NBA preparation, Walker looked out of shape and unable to stay in front of minor league basketball players defensively.
Dang.
Walker, after a rather unsuccessful year, would leave for the Canadian Basketball League, before being signed and waived from the G League the following year. And just like that, it's safe to say that Kyrie Walker's NBA dreams are officially over. Walker's decisions navigating his career really made his slim chances of making the NBA, given his plateauing talents, a splat finish-up disaster, which is unlike the story of Marcus Levette, which you may not realize has surprisingly had a positive ending. Well, that was just another one of the mixtape legends who cemented himself in Ball's life history. But this guy sure as hell did it his own way. Levette had one of the most unorthodox games I've ever seen. As a lightning quick twig, Levette's whole game revolved around being able to create an inch of space and pulling up whenever possible. And if you tried to double on the pick and roll, Levette was an ultra creative facilitator.
How?
Who really managed to win no matter what.
Oh.
That was the ultimate mix of skill, speed, and IQ in a 6', 160-pound package. As an undersized point who had a clear defensive ceiling that's at my kneecap, this player archetype is perfect for the mixtape where effectiveness doesn't really matter, and terrible for on-court production similar to Julian Newman. But unlike Julian Newman, Marcus Levette was one hell of a player. As a guy who could play in the screen and roll like a wizard that at any time could score the ball himself or find a teammate rolling or on the wing in the time it takes you to blink. Well, that's extremely high level of offensive play. Didn't
Yo,
just
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Listen, I think the people in the crowd make it worse. Because if you get broke, like imagine there's nobody. It's like, damn, like you might hear little things like on the court. But if you but imagine there's a crowd. They're like, oh my god, and niggas be like, I got it on camera. I got it on camera. Like, nigga, I ain't gonna lie. Like I'm walking off. Me, if I ever get broke like that, where I'm like my knees in the air, like my legs and everything, bro, just gone here. It's just like, you got it, bro.
That's the highlight reel. This kid was one of the best of the Ball's life era. At 32, 5, and 3 with 3 steals a game as a freshman, Marcus Levette was the real deal. And coming back his sophomore season, he somehow got even better. At 34, 4, and 2, Levette had nowhere to go but up, while completely dominating at the high school level in front of packed gyms waiting for his next move. As you can imagine, at like 15 years old, getting so good at your craft that you're essentially one of the first famous high school athletes is pretty tough on the ego. And to better his future, Levette made a surprising move to transfer mid-season, but likely not the move that you may think. Levette bounced from Providence to better his education, a move that actually may have worsened his basketball future. Well, that would see a decline to 23, 3, and 4, but as a state champion, he really brought his winning mindset with him. Well, that would transfer once again as a last chance choice to garner as much collegiate attention as possible to play for Chicago's powerhouse Morgan Park High School. The state of Illinois was essentially in his hands at this point, as no one else could even dream of a trip while Chi-Town clearly taking his talents to St. John's. Levette, after some academic transfer issues, would sit out for his freshman season. And even after the high school hype had completely died down, Marcus Levette was still the real deal. 16, 3, and 4 on 46 and 38 shooting splits. Levette may not have had the fame that he had in high school, but ironically, being top 10 in the conference in scoring as a freshman at 6 feet tall was far more impressive than a stupid video on the internet. Levette would maintain his production throughout his sophomore season, before sadly his collegiate career would come to a forced conclusion from a left knee injury. And as a 6-foot guard, his NBA future really was non-existent. This may seem like a sad end of the road for a guy who had the world in his hands, but in reality, the NBA was never on this guy's roadmap. Going overseas to extend his career, well, Levette is still a walking book. But in 20 a game in Serbia, to bounce to Portugal to put up 22 a game, as we speak, Marcus Levette is still playing at a very high level, putting up extremely good stats in the meantime while traveling the world doing what he loves. As a 6-foot guard, the chances of the NBA were really never too strong. But as a guy who always valued his future as well as his present, Levette was able to handle high school fame much better than his predecessors we've covered here today. As we've learned, momentary success isn't everything, and really in the grand scheme of things kind of means very little. But when you do the right thing night in and night out, whether it be in the classroom, on the courts, in the workplace, or just interacting with the people.
What is this, bro? The fact that this nigga threw a whole lot of basketball at this nigga is hilarious to me. But, I think that just goes to show you, bro, no matter what your plan is, bro, you might, it might not go exactly according to plan, but nigga, like, You still playing basketball. You still traveling the world. Bro. You might not be in the NBA. You might not have global fame. But, bro, let's be honest. A lot of us don't want the fame. Like, they already want people to, like, always follow you with cameras all the time. People always ask you where you at, what you doing, who you doing it with. Like, bro, I ain't gonna lie, that don't sound too fun to me. Like, especially after a while. Like, and then imagine being beyond famous, like Michael Jackson, Drake level. Like, nobody want to hear that shit. Leave me alone. I think I'm trying to go to sleep. Like, damn. But y'all let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Love y'all. Stay safe and stick to the plan. Whatever the plan is, and listen, like how y'all seen this video. Not everything might go according to plan, bro. Love y'all. See y'all next video. We out.